And he was there to witness Moun Lakou at Salon du Livre de Paris. And he is very excited to actually also translate the book. So once he's done translating it, hopefully a publisher is going to like it and it's going to be out in English. So let me start with that passage. So I said that the book is about my mom, but it's really, it's embracing other parts of the Caribbean as well. So you also meet Evelyn in that book. Evelyn is a young woman from Jamaica who is having some trouble. And I don't know if you would say it's fate. I don't know, based on what I told you, maybe you would agree with me that maybe that was supposed to happen. But she is at the right place, at the right time. So I'm going to read you part of her story and then Kevin will translate that. Ce soir-là, Charlie avait invité cette jolie jeune femme à la peau d'ébène qui logeait chez sa mère. Il voulait lui montrer son île, mais surtout.
This one particular night, Charlie invited the pretty young, ebony-skinned woman who was staying in his mother's house. He wanted to show her his island, yes, but more than anything, he was determined to possess her through the power of his Kalaja rhythm. She was beautiful, with a face of very smooth skin and almond-shaped eyes that pierced your soul on one side and your heart on the other. She had high cheekbones like the women of Dahomey. Her figure was cut like a wasp, and her bonda, or booty, was high and tight, just the way he liked. She also had the haughty gait of women who believed they were beyond the reach of vieux nègres like him. What she had not counted on, though, was the spell of his ka drum. In fact, not a single woman had been able to resist him, and he knew that she would soon be his. And so he had invited her to this commemorative lawose. You got to ask Marie what a lawose is after this. This commemorative lawose that was spooling out along Rue February 14th, 1952, of a street with a date name. She followed him, let herself be carried away by the rhythm of the ka, and she responded to the call of Charlie, the drum master. Their conversation went on, longer than the dialogue between the ka and every previous lawose dancer up to that night. Evelyn's feet were in perfect harmony with every beat Charlie hit on the ka. She felt every beat deep down in her kidneys, and each step she took was matched by a sound from Charlie's drum. He called. She responded. She threw down a rhythmic challenge with her body, and he responded with a blast of sound that she immediately reproduced with more movements from her body. She let herself be possessed by the all-powerful ka until the drum achieved total control over her. She danced like a bewitched goddess and finally collapsed in the middle of a circle that had formed around her. For a long time she stayed that way, eyes closed, legs splayed out, torso thrown back, still in a trance as if she had surrendered completely to the ka drum and its master. It was like someone had told her to let herself be possessed, penetrated by that music that had taken and retaken her in staccato notes, transported her to a paroxysm of pleasure, then dropped her there, bloop, like a ripe breadfruit, with no will and feeling completely weak in the knees. Everyone knew then that those two, or rather those three, would finish the night together and consummate the passion at whose birth they had all been invisible witnesses. Many of the young women who were there that night went away with shoulders slouched, hands crossed behind their back, some with a head aching from rage and jealousy, others grabbing their stomach, where at that very instant they felt again the many kicks given by some tiny life that had been planted in their mother womb and ended inevitably with them joining the club of sans papas on this island that had never claimed its rightful soul. They had a good saying. Charlie was married to his ka and obeyed no other. That little Anglaise newcomer would come to understand it all too well. So one after the other, the Tambouille crowd went away shaking their heads in jealousy. That Charlie was still strong. Yet another new prize who could not resist his charm and the spell he cast. Charlie then found himself with Evelyn, both of them alone in the middle of the plaza, 2 steps away from the sea that continued to sing its plaintive nocturne and caress their faces with a fresh veil of mist that left delicate, salty droplets on their thirsty lips. These droplets contained the savor of Guadeloupe, and they both took pleasure in drinking it in, lip to lip, as foreplay to an imminent body to body. Charlie took her by the hand and led her toward the beach. In the refreshing water of the Baie du Moule, he pulled her close. She let go, and it was like she had fallen prey to the hypnotic charm of the Ka master. Their bodies moved in staccato rhythms, and the ripples awakened little fish who witnessed things they still talk about today. Painfully, Evelyn told again of the events that followed that cursed day when she let herself be possessed by that island, by that music, by that Ka master. Charlie's mother, who had also been witness to the encounter, quickly demanded that she be placed with another family. The director of the exchange program who accompanied the group reproached her behavior as that of a shameless young woman who had no respect for the people of Jamaica. Furthermore, he threatened to send her home if she could not find a new host family. As for Charlie, after spending the entire day sleeping, since his mother had no intention of waking him up or reprimanding him, he got up in the middle of the afternoon, sat down at the dining room table where a nice plate of fish stew and white rice seasoned with a bon de manjac pepper was already waiting for him. He ate until he was full, said neither hello nor thank you to his mother, and headed out to the shed where he met up with his Tambouillet crew. At first they received him with a slightly reproachful silence, but they quickly forgot that other incident. As soon as Charlie's fingers drew sound from his all-powerful Ka drum, everyone let themselves be swept away by the intoxicating music. They took their repon and their Tambouillet in the same beat, and none of them thought anything about that young girl. Charlie himself had already reached another plane. Like a zombie, he followed a musical note in which his soul took wing and floated far away beyond the island of Guadeloupe to a place where he encountered who knows what god of the Ka drum that would glamour him again and again. And if you want to know the rest, you got to buy the book and read it. Thank you.